Hello, everybody. It's Friday, February 27th, 2026, and I'm just going to wait for some people to come on. I just got a message from my mod on my iPad saying something about her internet has just gone down, so that's going to be a short one tonight. She can always watch the replay. Let's see if I can get anybody in for a quick update on the Nancy Guthrie case. Hey, Karen, how are you? I'm so glad you're here. I just got I think I got a text on my iPad from Kelly saying her internet just went down. So it's good to have a mod in here. I've had a heck of a day. Blew the whole day waiting for service people, only one of which showed up. And so I have a lot to do this evening and tomorrow. I'm glad you're good. Yeah, I'm going to need to wash my hair and get some laundry done tomorrow morning. I just have to do an update on the Nancy Guthrie case just to keep this, case on YouTube, keep it active. I know I'm not one of those big YouTubers that's got like 500,000 followers, but still. Hey, Kermudge, how you doing, buddy? Say hello to Sarah. I'm assuming this is Rob. Yeah, Karen, I wish I had a laundry at the apartment, but it's way in the back. It would make life so much easier. What's up, Rob? So it is you. I'm just waiting for some people to get in here. We're going to make it short because I was waiting all day for repair people. Maintenance guy came and got his work done in the bedroom, but some special plumbing company, not the regular plumber, but the special plumber, was supposed to show up, and then they forgot to schedule it, and I waited all day. So I was stuck here all day and didn't get any of the laundry done, and I'm sure the laundry will be full all weekend. Oh, okay. Well, at least say hi to her for me, Rob. Hey, 13 people. That's awesome. Okay. This is April Davis PI. 24. Wow. You guys make sure to give me a thumbs up right away. Okay? Hey, I'm here in Los Angeles, but I just want to report the latest on the Nancy Guthrie case. I guess we should start with the guy that's in the thumbnail. That would be Mr. Antonio de Jesus Peña Campos, or I should say Campos. I'm not Hispanic, but that's the best I can do for you. 9th grade, or was it 10th grade? 10th grade Spanish. That's about as far as I got. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. That's what I learned in a whole year. Hey, Rita. Thanks for coming in. So this guy last night, according to the YouTubers that I've been occasionally watching, and according to Brian Inton, he drove down Nancy Street in Tucson somewhere between 50 and 100 times last night. He would then slow down in front of the house, and somehow, I guess he was going so slow that some of the people reporting there were able to see him holding a phone that had Nancy Guthrie's picture on it. Now, the police were still in and out of the neighborhood too. I don't know if they were still at the house because a lot of service people have been in and out of that house the last couple of days. And I guess somebody brought it to the attention, like, hey, this guy's going, back and forth, over and over, and he's acting weird and squirrely. So they finally pull him over. And oh, Hallucinos, how are you? My grandmother? Huh? Okay. I'm totally confused. I am nobody's grandmother. Anyway, they finally pulled this guy over, and supposedly he reeked of marijuana. He was arrested. He was given a field sobriety test, which he failed miserably. And I haven't checked the computer today because I was busy waiting for all these service people to show, only which half did. So I'll look it up tonight on the Pima County Sheriff's inmate webpage to see if he's still booked. He was just charged with a misdemeanor. He's probably posted bail by now, or maybe he was even released. But he was arrested for DUI. And they weren't kidding when they said he drove up the street 50 to 100 times. But it was really bizarro because he had his cell phone in his hand and he was looking at a picture of Nancy Guthrie while he would go real slow by her house. And he had the window rolled down. He was looking at the memorial with all the flowers out in front of the house near the mailbox area. Really, really strange. Yeah, like super strange. Now, they said obviously that he was arrested for DUI and that he wasn't arrested for anything involving the Nancy Guthrie case. But still, it's a little interesting to me. Now, this guy, he's pretty tall and thin. He doesn't fit the body mold at all of the guy that's wearing the ski mask, which is also known as like I think they're calling it a balaclava, or balaclava, or balaclava. Does anybody know? What am I trying to say? Balaclava? Balaclava? This is what happens with lack of sleep because you have to wake up early for repair people that by the end of the day haven't shown up. Yeah, so the ski mask guy, he is of shorter stature and heavier than the tall, skinny guy that smelled of weed and was arrested for DUI. Okay, I'm getting confused here. Okay, I'm just going to disregard that. We're here to talk about Nancy Guthrie. Let's not be a knucklehead tonight. And Karen, if you have to take anybody out, don't block them. Just put them on a, if somebody gets out of hand tonight, can you just put them on a 24-hour timeout? That curmudge, hold on, curmudge, since Kelly's not here. I know Karen is here, but I'm going to add you as a mod. You've been added, curmudge, along with Karen and along with my good buddy Kelly. I don't need anybody deleted because I need the watch hours. Remember, I'm not monetized. But if somebody becomes a knucklehead, do put them in a 24-hour timeout. You had me as a mod before, then YouTube unsubbed me. Are you serious? Why? You mean they unsubbed you from the channel? I've heard that happens sometimes. So yeah, if there's any trolls or troublemakers, Karen or Robbie, you can just take care of them. So I don't know. I didn't look it up to see if Antonio is still in the slammer. You know, maybe he can make friends with Kayla, but you know, she's in a separate unit because she's a girl. So maybe, you know, I was gonna joke that maybe he could say hello to Kayla while he was in there, but it was weird. Now, talking about weird, Sheriff Chris Nanos, also I called him, you know, Bananos. I got that from the other media. I'm not trying to steal somebody else's thunder, but somebody wrote me a message last night. They seemed kind of upset, and they're like, his name is Chris Nanos. Like, yeah, I know. I didn't bother to write them back. I didn't answer that one. So Bananos has announced to the media that the house has been available to the family since week 1. You know, there was all this news that the FBI was there this week doing a final walkthrough along with the prosecutor's office, and that now they're getting ready to turn the house over to the family, and all these service people, including internet people, landscapers, people going into the house with briefcases, all kinds of people have shown up this week. And Chris Nanos, Bananos, is just saying the house has been open since week number 1 for the family. Now, cold case forever. I hope not, Two Tacos. Here's the deal, though. Remember, he has cleared the family publicly, not once, but twice. Remember, he said he didn't have any suspects, then everybody's a suspect, then nobody's a suspect. The house is secure, the house is unsecure, then it's secure again, then it's unsecure. That house was only secured for under 48 hours. However, the house is only secure, a crime scene, for less than 48 hours by the Pima County Sheriff's Department in the jurisdiction where the crime occurred. But yet, as of at least yesterday, and I haven't heard any change in this today, the Pima County Sheriff's Department still has possession of Annie and Tommaso's vehicle. And many people in the media have been calling the Sheriff's Department like, hey, where is the car? New video of vehicle at the right time frame. Yes, I'll talk about that, Karen. Thank you for reminding me. It's on my list. But all the media, anybody can inquire about that, which I was shocked that you could actually call the sheriffs and you could ask about that and not be the owner of the car. And they're saying that that car is a piece of evidence in an active investigation, as in an active criminal investigation, as in an active homicide investigation. The car is a piece of evidence in an active investigation. This is not standard procedure to keep a piece of evidence that has absolutely nothing to do with any suspects in the case. You read into that however you wish. But what that tells my mind, even as tired as I am, because I don't do well at my age with lack of sleep, and I desperately need a shower, that just tells me a lot. It speaks volumes. It puts us back at square one, because all these other detainees have lawyered up and claimed they got nothing to do with it, yada, 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 yada. Okay? Apparently, as of a few days ago, little Carlos Palazuelos still doesn't have his phone. Let's pray for Carlos. Like I said, send the guy a pizza. I don't think he's involved. Karen says, sounds funny to me. They can only hold it if it has evidence. I would think so. Donna Rogers, welcome in, Donna. This is a pure mess. Absolutely correct. Unbelievably mishandled. Absolutely correct. Anyone can see this. You don't need a college degree to see this. But I like that you guys are putting your thoughts in here, because I think like a detective and I see the world through the eyes of a spy, but most people don't see the world through the eyes of a spy. And I had my spidey sense since I was a child, and my parents would ask me, how did you know that? How did you know that this person was going to do this? Or how did you know this person was trouble or crazy or criminal? And I'd just be a little kid and they'd say, how did you know? And then when I grew up, my dad was telling my Canadian stepmom, you wouldn't believe how she predicted this and this and this about, she just has it. And he was like, how do you see these things? And I will look at everybody else that says that to me and say, how do you don't see it? So it's nice to hear people that are the non-detectives here that don't do this for a living to say, hey, anybody can see that this is a giant mess. Yes. So now he's saying that, the family's had access to the house since week number 1. The crime scene was released in under 48 hours. But yet the police and the FBI, they keep going back and back and back and back. But today they announced, at least Pima County Sheriff's announced, that a lot of their detectives are getting ready to be assigned to other cases, because I guess people in Tucson are complaining like, hey, what about my case? What about this? What about that? Like, we can't have all of our resources on the Nancy Guthrie case almost 5 weeks into this, and everything else around them is just, falling apart. And I understand that. Like, even Savannah Guthrie, she can't stay out there forever. And, they say she's going back to the Today Show. She's not going back. Maybe she's going back. It changes daily. Has her mom been found yet? No, she has not, Scott. People pointing fingers at the sheriff. I think he's got a lot on his plate. I just don't think he's qualified for this type of work. I think I've done more of this type of work than he has, and I haven't done a lot of kidnappings, but I'm still not convinced this is a kidnapping. I'm still looking at this as a homicide. And I think I've done more than he's done in his career as just me being a PI. And I think he's overwhelmed, and there's a report that the day after this happened that Sheriff Nanos' brother had passed away. And that's not been confirmed, but that's what they're saying. Jane Rice, hello. Where are you coming in from, Jane? Teresa Wilson, why would anyone kill her? What's the motive? She's obviously not kidnapped. Money. That would be the number one thing, would be money. And number 2 would be revenge, like maybe revenge against Savannah Guthrie. But Savannah Guthrie, she's a sweetheart. But, she's willing to dig into those Epstein files. So, I know that's going way down the rabbit hole. But money or revenge? Donna Rogers. From day one, there has been evidence not shared. Yes. What was the reason to deny FBI help? Well, they called them in fairly quickly. I know we have problems with the FBI. Yes, someone knows something. Up the reward. The reward was up this week. The Guthrie family has thrown in $1 million. So if you add that to the first 2,500, and I still don't know who put that up. It was possibly the Pima County Sheriffs. I'm not sure. Does anybody know where did the first 2,500 come from? Then the next 50 came from the FBI. The second 50 grand came from the FBI. That made it 100. Then there was an anonymous 100K donor, and now the Guthrie family has thrown in $1 million. So we're up to $1,2,500. Yeah. And Savannah has said today that if you wish, you can have that money in cash. Thank you, Karen. You know what? We got 34 people in here. Listen to my mod. She knows what she's talking about. Let's click the like button. Let's hit that screen. Double tap the screen for the hearts. Is that how we do it? Double tap? I can't do it on my end. Yeah, Joe, now we are talking. Money. Reward is over $1 million now. Of course, the Guthrie family said that they are adding up to $1 million. Because there may be more than one person that comes forward that has useful information. Now, emergency here. I'm down to my last post-surgery Boylan Diet root beer. This stuff is very hard to get. I have to order it off of Amazon, and it comes from a warehouse in New Jersey. This is made in New York, as in New York City, as in New York, New York. I'm in Los Angeles. This is my last one. I had been off the root beer, the diet root beer, for a very long time because of that damn kidney stone. And this, I mean, I don't want to get my channel in trouble, but this is like crack, And I don't do drugs, just to be clear, but this is like my crack. The Boylan Diet root beer. And I also love the Boylan Diet cream soda. I just can't get enough Amazon gift cards or reward cards. Just saying. 53 people. Wow. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. While I take a sip of the diet root beer, can you guys give me the thumbs up? It's just so light and smooth. Oh. And it doesn't have the same chemical crap that the A&W does that somehow makes me sick now. Let's see. Oh, the chat, I'm way behind. M. Saunders. Maybe the family had something to do with it. Anything is possible. Donna Rogers, you are correct. Has been a homicide from the beginning. Absolutely. Joe says so sad. That's a good question, Karen. Who has Nancy's power of attorney? Oh, you just said the same thing, Kermudge. I didn't see that. That is a good question. I've wondered that from the beginning. I wonder whoever was in the house who apparently felt so comfortable during this kidnapping, robbery, burglary, abduction, whatever it was, that they stayed at least 41 to 47 minutes, but yet nothing appears to be missing. What were they looking for? They didn't take her jewelry or her purse or her iPhone, her smartwatch, she had cash. None of it, her wallet or keys or car. Nope. But somebody was in there for a hell of a long time. You don't spend that much time in someone's house to commit a kidnapping. You just don't. And in my mind, now that everybody that was detained and was a suspect or had their house raided, whatever, and that's all been for naught so far, We go back to square one. Okay, I think I'm caught up on the chat. Everybody, 57 people here, only 8 thumbs up. If the more of you can put that thumbs up button, like hit the like, send those red hearts. 63 people. Oh my God, that's like a record almost. You know, it'll get more people in here. And I'm sorry I look like crap. I had to get up early for the maintenance guy to come in. He did do the work in the bedroom. But then while I had to sit here all afternoon and couldn't take a shower, couldn't wash my hair, couldn't wash my clothes, couldn't do anything, they didn't show up. And about 5 o'clock, I messaged the manager and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. That was my fault. I got so busy, I forgot to schedule it." Like, I was already told yesterday it was scheduled for this afternoon around the same time that I sent the email. Like, they'll be here tomorrow, Friday. You know, Eric will be here between, this time, and then these guys will come in the afternoon around this time. Nobody shows up. I've lost an entire day. But at least I have a second working smoke alarm. And I have the bedroom, the back baseboard that faces the driveway. I have that caulk now to prevent the summer ant invasion that we get here in Los Angeles. But I still got drainage issues from other apartments. It's just been a long thing to get done, especially with me in and out of the hospital and all these major surgeries. I'm trying to get my place caught up. And so tonight I'm probably gonna wash my hair not once but twice and dry it enough just to crawl into bed and, collapse. Let's see, what have I missed in the chat? It keeps making me hit the little arrow at the bottom for some reason. Yeah, double tap your phone screen, says Karen. Thank you so much, Karen. Hi, Connie Oliver. Where are you coming in from, Connie? I haven't seen you here before. Or click the 3 dots to the top right to see the menu. Oh, okay. I don't have the 3 dots on my end. Kermudge, Karen, you got this. I need to make dinner before Sarah tries to bite me. Be back in a bit. We'll leave this up. Have a good dinner, Kermudge. Cook something good. Thank you so much, Karen. I got this message on my iPad that said from Kelly, like something about her internet is down. I can't access the internet. And she sent that right when I was getting ready to send her a text to just let her know I was going on. So she has no idea I'm even on the air right now. She'll have to watch it on the replay. Anyway, so we had the arrest last night of Antonio de Jesus Peña Campos, unrelated to the Nancy Guthrie case, but he just happened to be arrested across the street from her house while he cruised by 50 to 100 times, according to Brian Enton and some of the YouTubers out there. And he was, holding a cell phone while driving with a picture of Nancy. Now, I don't know how they figured that out, that he was looking at her picture while he was driving, but he was looking at her picture on his cell phone while he was driving, reportedly. And like I said, I didn't look up on the Pima County Sheriff's Department inmate page yet to see if he's still in there. He was only charged with misdemeanor DUI. And it's just weird because he would slow down every time he got in front of the house. But he does not fit the body description of the guy that's wearing is it called? I got to ask you this. Somebody look this up. Is it a balaclava or a balaclava? That's the name of the ski mask. Something clava. Bala? I've never heard that term before. To me, that's just a bank robber mask. I mean, that would be the only reason to have one in Tucson. There's no skiing in the cacti, on the hard desert floor. I mean, it is kind of high elevation, but not that high where they would get snow. So you can't even buy that in the stores, apparently, there. You have to order it like through Walmart or something. But I'm sure that Walmart's not the only store that sells that. Let's see. So, wow, 10 thumbs up, 47 people watching. Come on, let's get that number up to at least 25. Let's do it for me. It'll help more people come in to the live chat, and it'll help more people come in to see the replay. Oh, I am going to answer this text and say, I'm on live now to my other mod. 51. Wow. Only 9 thumbs up. Come on, I've had a hell of a day. I sat here all day long waiting for all these people to come, and only one service person came, and I had to wake up hours before anybody even got here. I could have had extra sleep had these people just told me what time they were coming, or the manager had told me, oops, I forgot to call the second company. Hey, Nero. What's up? Just talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. Just an update that the House was supposedly released in the first week of the investigation, according to Sheriff Bananos, as everybody's calling him. And, the family is definitely not a suspect, but the Sheriff's Department is holding Annie and Tommaso's vehicle, at least as of yesterday still, because it is a piece of evidence in an active investigation. Now, their words, not mine. All the media is calling Pima County. Why can't they get their car back? Apparently, even they've been taking their mail. They spent under 48 hours at the scene of a homicide and released it. But they've spent like 2 to 3 weeks at Annie and Tommaso's, and they won't release the car. We're going into week 5. I'm not pointing anybody as a suspect, but I have interviewed thousands of people in my PI career. It's been 42 years, folks, and I don't like the body language of certain family members. And I'm not saying that they did it. I'm not saying they had anything to do with it or they hired somebody to do it, but I do not care for the body language. There could be a lot of reasons for that. 69 people. Let's see. Please view current news about this sheriff. What is the current news about him? And oh, by the way, you can take the reward now. 75 people. You can take the reward in cash. Call 1-800. Call FBI. That's 1-800. Call FBI. I wish I knew, because I've got all these medical bills that are just, I'm overwhelmed at this point in my life. If I still had my full-time career, I could just pay those like there's, it'd be nothing. 83 people. Now that must be a record. Wow. And like I said, I have, because of everything, 95 people. Okay, oh my God. What is going on? Search corrupted sheriff of this case. There was a lot for you to view. Just gave you a like. Thank you, Scott. And last time you were here, we were having, YouTube was having that problem with the internet. He was investigated before, says Karen. That's his beef with the feds. Yeah, they're not on the same page at all. New footage. Boo Boo, I miss you. Well, thank you, Boo Boo. 15 thumbs up. We were up to 83 people. Oh my God. So, also, has anybody heard the latest? Karen, I'm going to ask you, because I know you watch my friend, my old buddy, Nancy Grace. I just was watching her tonight, and I was looking at the video footage of the cars that were filmed 2.5 miles away with somebody's Ring doorbell that they just recently came into custody of. And one of the cars is like seen speeding away about 8 minutes after Nancy's pacemaker stopped syncing. And it's a white, smaller car. Officials think that it is a Kia Soul. Don't have a year yet. Obviously, there's no plate. But there was a dozen different vehicles that evening, that morning of February 1st, between like midnight and 6 something in the morning. There was only about a dozen vehicles that exited that Catalina Foothills neighborhood through that back way. That's a back way to get out of that neighborhood. It's 2.5 miles away, but you can exit that neighborhood that way without going through major intersections. And remember, major intersections have cameras and LPRs. So if you commit a crime, you might be more likely to take a back road that's less visible. And there was more than one car that sped through there. But the one car they're really interested in is a white Kia Soul. So if you live in Tucson and you know anybody with a white Kia Soul, yeah, I'm sure there's tons of them. It's a very popular car. Kia is very, very popular. That wouldn't really be for me, but it's a very popular car. 94 people. Okay, I'm stopping everything unless I get more thumbs up. I can't have 97 people in here and only 16 thumbs up. And by the way, I need to let you know that I never intended for the channel to go where it's gone. I'm still a little itty bitty baby YouTuber, but I've been on here for 5+ years, people. And I've got 1.89 thousand followers. I'm actually getting pretty close. I'm only about 100+ subs away from hitting the 2,000 mark. I would have never thought that would happen. I never believed that the first 1,000 happened. I'm 100+ subs away from hitting 2,000 subs. Hey, Boston Bill. So if all you guys that are watching right now, these 89 people, if you're not already subbed to my channel, please sub to my channel. Please hit that bell icon. Then you'll be notified anytime I do a video. I do prefer the long form video format, but I went on here live on the second, just in the vertical form, because that's what YouTube kind of likes now. They kind of pushed that out, and I wanted to report on this case, and I was hoping that it would be solved in a few days. I've been on here every day except February 6th, which was my kidney surgery, and February 24th, which was my 42nd anniversary of me being employed as a private investigator. Let me catch up to the chat. Oh, Boo Boo brought all my friends today. Great. Brian Clark. Oh, welcome. Make sure you're subscribed, Brian. Where are you coming in from? Thank you, Karen, for modding. You just subscribed, Scott. Thank you. Joe, just subscribed. Thank you. Peggy. Oh, hi, Peggy. Where are you coming in from? You know what? Why didn't everybody type into the chat, even though some of you already know where you're coming from? Why don't you all type into the chat right now where you're coming in from? I'm in Los Angeles, California, in the San Fernando Valley. Toronto, Ontario, Canada. My dad he's no longer with us, a naturalized Canadian. Southwest Missouri, says Peggy. Joe says Texas. Karen says North Georgia. Suzanne Simmons, welcome. Massachusetts. Jane Rice, I'm assuming that's Indiana. Boston Bill. Boston, Mass. Marcia. No, Marcy. Hi from Toronto. Hi back. Tammy, Louisiana. Foam, Michigan. Kathy, Fort Pierce, Florida. Where in Florida is that? I spent a lot of time in Florida as a child. Diane Brown, Somerville, South Carolina. I've got cousins there. Port Royal, South Carolina, says Low Country Antiques. Michael Whiteman, Western New York. My mother country. Shelley Harper, Dublin, Ireland. Welcome. Carolyn Jung. Hi. No, I'm from Surprise, Arizona. Nero, Lima, Peru. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, Nastasha, Edmonton. You know, I have an old metal detecting friend up there. He's a gold prospector, too. John from Edmonton. I love a low country boil. You know what? I don't even know what that means. Is that a cooking term in the South? And I lived in the South when I was a child, but I have no idea what that means. Wow, Edmonton. What a beautiful place. Who else? East Coast, 45 minutes north of West Palm Beach, says Kathy. Oh, wow, okay. Thank you for answering the question. And when I say the mother country, I mean, my heritage, but I'm also have a lot of heritage from the UK, Ireland, and Germany, and about 3.5% Italian, and a little Finnish, maybe, but mostly the UK, Ireland, and Germany. So Europe. Wow. Now my main mod is saying, I don't have internet still. We'll watch as soon as I can. And I'll say, okay. Lots of viewers. There we go. Thank God I got this new iPad. Now I just have to figure out how to pay for it. With my business before the whole big C happened, I never had to worry about the payment plan. Kathy says, no problem. Oh, Canada, USA Hockey Olympics. No, I really do love Canada. A lot of family ties and friends tied to Canada. Karen says, sausage, corn tots, red potatoes, and mud puppies. Oh my gosh. Yes, I have been to Europe. Oh, Neuro had a message retracted. I'm sorry I didn't get to see it. Marcy, Canada. Well, 100% Portuguese blood. I have a Portuguese friend here in LA. In Shrimpers. No, I don't know. I don't know what any of this is. I'm sorry, Karen. I'm sorry. I was raised by Midwesterners, and so we were raised on beef and potatoes. And after my, cancer situation, we're not going to beat that into the ground, but I stopped all red meat. So, in fact, I stopped all meat, but then I got that bad report on my bones. So I started chicken again and a little bit of turkey just for protein. So basically live off of chicken and occasional turkey and eggs. That's about it. That's a low country boil. Okay. Shelly Harper, where are you coming in from? We just asked everybody that, and you just got here. So put in the chat, where did you come from? Got 43 people watching and a 23 thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. And God, if I go over to my YouTube studio on my iPad, I can check to see if the subscriber count just went up. I'm sitting at, the ticker didn't go off on my monitor yet, but it says I'm sitting at 1903. That means, Jesus, I have only 97 more subs and I can hit 2,000. Could that happen tonight? Let's do it. Everybody sub. Everybody hit that subscribe button. Nero says, I am half African American, half Italian, half native, and sometimes half alligator. Alligator with an E? What is that? Rusty. Hello, Rusty. Where are you coming in from? Yeah, this is nothing. I'm not even monetized, Jane. We got a lot of Janes in my family too, Jane. 1903. I would have never guessed that would ever happen. So he is a half and half. Rusty Scriber says Ohio. Got a lot of people in the gold community friends in Ohio. Rager. Howdy, Rager. Where are you coming in from? Kathy. Iannotti. Do it. Come on, everybody. Do it. Let's do it. Let's not only hit that thumbs up, but let's subscribe. When I started this video series, I think I was around 1,600. Now I'm up to 9. Oh, it just went ka-ching. Well, not ka-ching. It goes ding-ding like a bicycle bell. It doesn't go ka-ching because I'm not monetized. Now, if I ever get remonetized, then I'll change that sound that you probably couldn't even hear in the background to a ka-ching. It used to, when it was 0 to 1 to 1,000, it would go ding-ding every time somebody subscribed. But now, because once it passes 1,000K or 1K, then it only hits on every 10. So, if it's like at 1909 and then it hit 10, then it would say plus 10. Or if it was -1, it would say -10, and you'd hear like a rainstorm, like a thunder and lightning kind of sound. It's a pretty cool little thing, but I liked it better when it would go ding ding every time there was a sub. But I guess for people that are, like YouTube famous, that would drive everybody crazy if it went ding ding for every one little person, and they have like 1 million subscribers. It'd be going off 24 hours a day. And I don't mind because it's out in the living room, and I'm sure my bunny listens to it at night when it goes ding ding. Kathy says you subscribe. Thank you, Kathy. And Rita says, I hit the subscribe button on another of your lives. Well, thank you, Rita. I see you've been binge watching the videos, and I appreciate that because that will help my hours. Because I'm not even halfway there to be getting remonetized. Let's see. Don't believe those ancestor gimmicks. Lots of people were fed negative feedback. Oh, Boston. Rager, you're in Boston. Say hi to Bill. Is Boston Bill still in here? So, what do we want to talk about regarding, let's get back to business here with Nancy Guthrie. It's going to be 5 weeks on Sunday that she's been gone. We're at day number 27. Tomorrow's day 28. That means Sunday morning at midnight will be the beginning of the 5th week, which is just, I think she's gone, but I have this horrible feeling that she's been gone from the very beginning. This has never, in my mind, been a kidnapping, a bungled burglary, a bungled robbery. I could be wrong. If maybe she was kidnapped because somebody was trying to target Savannah. But I have the same original suspects who I've never named in my on my mind. That's all I'm going to say. I still think it's 2 people in those pictures. Oh, you mean at the front door? Oh, you mean that when the guy's not carrying the backpack? You think that's a different guy? Marcio Canada. I think the family has something to do with it. Possibly. Diane Brown. I agree with you. Karen says yes. Okay. Yeah, I thought he was the same body type and that he was obviously there on 2 different days because the moon was almost full the morning of the crime. But in the other picture where there's no backpack and no gun and no holster, the legs look the same to me. But you pointed out that the shoes were different, and I think you were right. I think the shoes were different. But a lot of people are saying that the guy that was there the night of the crime, that there's another person standing in the yard or more towards the driveway. And the driveway is kind of like is a little bit of a U-shaped, I think. So I can't really tell if there's somebody else behind the guy that has the, what are we calling it, a balaclava or a balaclava? I saw that somewhere today, like, what? I've been a PI. You know how many bank robbery cases I used to do? Like where I investigated them for insurance companies where people were shot or blown away and, they would still have the bullet holes there. And I've never heard that term before, that balaclava. Somebody look that up for me. Different shoes and jacket has a pattern. Yeah, it kind of looked a little camo, didn't it? The second guy? And now they're showing today, at least I saw it on Nancy Grace, that the guy with the backpack, it looks like on the right, well, my right is here, but on the camera it would be here. It looks underneath the strap of the backpack that there's the root beer. It's the star symbol, like a star on the jacket. And the other jacket looked patterned to me. Yes, different shoes and jacket, but his legs, his body looks like the same shape. But I still can't figure out why the mask looks like it's switched around with no eye holes. Like, I don't think it's the same day. And if I had to place a bet, I would say it's the same guy, but I don't think that he worked alone. And there may have been somebody right behind him, and we just can't see it because of the darkness. And there could have been another person going around the side of the house to the back door, because the back door was wide open and the strobe light apparently was in the back that was broken. Yes, I saw that. Somebody said he had a walkie-talkie in his pocket, the ring box guy. Who is the ring box guy? I saw that picture of the right pocket, and it does look like those little minis. We used to use them all the time in surveillance, and they have the little rubber antennas. Looks like the rubber antenna sticking out of the right pocket. How did he get in that metal screen door? Probably somebody came in the back and opened it up for him. Sherry Smith, hello. The guy with the plant. Oh, you mean the guy with the ski mask and the gun. Okay, and the backpack. Where are you coming in from, Sherry? I just asked everybody where they were coming in from, but some people are still coming in. SFL 6. What's this about? This is about the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. Marcy O'Canada, the son-in-law who has set it all up. Anything is possible. Let's give a thumbs up, people. God, we were up to like 93. Is that the highest we hit tonight, or was it 100? How many subs do I have now? I'm still 97 away from 2,000 subs. Oh, let's get the subs and the watch hours. I actually need the watch hours more than I need the subs. But still, if I have more subs, hopefully they'll be binge watching my videos. Oh, from Toronto, welcome. My dad's naturalized Canadian. He's no longer with us, but oh, you're in Florida, Sherry. I think we all are going to be surprised when they find out. You can just tell I'm a Democrat. That's a funny comment. Yeah, I am a Democrat. SFL-6. Hello. Another person from Florida, Gene Wolf. Welcome. I guess you're the main mod now, Karen. And as I said earlier, too, when Kermudge was here, and I need to make sure to tell Kelly, since she's usually, she was my first mod, you're my second mod. I don't want anybody blocked, but if somebody gets a little, crazy or gets out of hand, becomes a knucklehead or a troll, then we're going to give them a 24-hour timeout. Just saying, so that, it doesn't disrupt the chat. We're doing this for Nancy. We want to get her found, even if she's deceased, which she probably is. We still want her to be found and returned to her family. We want closure for this family no matter what has happened. And we want to see that the person or people responsible, that they're all held accountable in a court of law, and that justice is served. And a reminder here, the way our justice system works in this country, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. FBI screwed up. Well, as a PI, there was quite a few times in my life, especially when it came to celebrity situations, especially like stalkers and kidnappers or people threatening kidnapping. Usually the PIs had it figured out. When the police didn't do anything, FBI couldn't figure it out. And I'm not saying that they're bad, because, they've got a lot on their plates too, but yeah, they're not the specialists. That's why I hope that the family, that they have private investigators involved as well as law enforcement. But you have probably multiple chefs in the kitchen, because you've got private security that's provided by NBC for Savannah and her family. Now beefed up security for her and everybody on the Today Show that's a broadcaster, which is, separate from a PI. unless it's a combination PI-PPO. And then you have the Pima County Sheriff, who I think dropped a ball from day 2, and the FBI. They need to work together. That'll never happen, Karen. No, it was more the sheriff. Well, yeah. He released the crime scene in 48 hours, and he's cleared the family not once but twice. But Annie and Tommaso, they're not allowed to have their car back because it's a piece of evidence in an ongoing, active criminal investigation. And that's coming from Pima County Sheriff. That's not some internet BS. It's part of an active criminal investigation. And we're 5 weeks into this. They were at the crime scene where this probably homicide occurred for less than 48 hours. But yet they've spent, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at Annie Tommaso's? They can't even get their own mail. Their mail's being monitored. Sheriff had the lead and kept the lead. Nothing in this case has made sense. Except for what I said from day 1. Look at the people closest to the victim. Most people are murdered or abducted by someone that they know. Kidnappers don't spend that amount of time in a house. Burglars and robbers, they take things. They don't show up with bags packed. They show up with empty bags. Read it close. I think the sheriff knows more than he's saying. I think so, and I think the Guthrie family knows a lot more than they're saying. All of their statements have been highly scripted. But I still don't like the body language of certain people during these announcements. But I'm not pointing my finger at any of these people. Must be the money. Revenge people are too crazy. Would have been caught by now. That's a good point. Remember, I am the only person that I know of out of law enforcement, the FBI, and all the YouTubers, and all the mainstream reporters that are on this, including, Nancy Grace is on this, Brian Enton is on this, Megyn Kelly's on this, Ashley Banfield is on this, and nobody, you tell me where anybody else has said what April Davis, me, has said. I want to know about that second mortgage that was taken out in 2017. I want to know more about it. But I'm not investigating this case. I'm just reporting on it. So I'm not pulling documents and doing title searches and looking for power of attorneys and looking for copies of life insurance policies and wills and living trust and however she has her property set up. But that needs to be looked into. And who has the power of attorney? Absolutely. I'd love to know that, Karen. Sounds like all of MAGA are on it. And MAGA doesn't like Savannah Guthrie. Marcio Canada says son-in-law. And the sheriff says no. But, who knows? Who knows? I still want to know why this Range Rover was so important to this case at one time. I'd still like to know why they went after Carlos Palazuelos. My God. What was it? Oh, Brenda. Oh, my God. Honey, how are you doing? This is the worst day for you to come in. I had repair people here all day. I have no makeup. Actually, I'm out of makeup. And I was supposed to take a shower, but I had to wait all day for maintenance people. And the second group didn't come in, so I haven't even had a shower. And I look horrible. So you can listen to this, Brenda, but close your beautiful blue eyes. Everybody, Brenda, That is my cousin, who I have not seen in probably 30 plus years, maybe longer. How are you? Everybody, welcome my cousin Brenda. You know, I've had a lot of conversations lately with your very intelligent brother Randy. And you know, that has meant so much to me that Randy is the human being that he is, and that he's been in my corner through everything. And just having his support, you know, knowing that he's got my back, you know. There's not much he can do from where he's at, but I just know that, you know, I can pick up that phone anytime and I can call or I can text him, and it has just meant the world to me. He's a real stand-up guy, but I know you already know that. But I'm just telling you, you just needed to hear that from me. Wow, uh, that's awesome, Brenda, that you're here. Yeah, I've been reporting. Oh, hi, April M. I have been reporting on this since February 2nd. I just had my 42nd anniversary on the 24th of being a PI. Now, I've only been licensed since 1992, but I was only full-time, as everybody here probably already knows, for 35 years because of, you know, stage 3 breast cancer. And I've had a horrible time with side effects, especially since 2023. I've already had 2 major surgeries, Brenda, since 2026, and it's only February. I look just like my dad. uh, who, me? I look like my dad. Everybody said I look like the mom's side of the family on her Irish side. I might look like him because I have this cancer medical induced double chin now. And I wouldn't, if I had the money, which I don't, I would not go for a surgery that was not absolutely necessary, like just for the sake of cosmetic purposes. I would put that money away for, you know, to pay the ambulance bills and the LA Fire Department and the hospital and the anesthesiologists and the surgeons and the labs and all the crap that I'm going through right now. But thank you. Oh my God. We have to put somebody in a timeout. Let's see. See ya. Timeout. Okay. Yeah. My main mod, she's not here today, and my second mod, she's been trying to keep up with everything, and my other mod, he's in Alaska cooking dinner right now. So I hope you're doing well, Brenda. I hope your kids are doing well, and their kids. Wow, awesome. Yeah, you'll have to, you know what, go to the main channel page, Brenda, and you can click the playlist, because this is not just a true crime channel. That's the problem with this channel. It's not about a specific niche. It's just my life since I survived the cancer. And Pink has been timed out. Oh, no problem, Karen. Thank you for looking at that. Yeah, I don't want to block anybody because I desperately need the watch hours, because this is not monetized channel, and so there's no money for views or clicks. There's no super chat, super thanks, super stickers. None of that is available right now. So if anybody wants to contribute to the channel, just go to the links on the main channel page and make sure you're subscribed, everybody. I am only, let's see, I just got 3 more. I am now 94 subs away from hitting 2K. And that only took 5 years to do. Yeah, Brenda, this YouTube channel is a disaster if you're still here. This is not like, so, wow. I don't know if you're aware, Brenda, but I know you were aware about in your family. I know that you lost your beautiful mom, and I did see the service online. Randy sent me the link, and I've since lost my mom and wasn't able to see her at that time because I was in the hospital with the same ailment, except you know, she was 84 and I was not. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Karen. Karen is my friend in Georgia. She's probably not too far from you, Brenda. And I have another mod that's out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And tonight we had to do not mod number 3 because mod number 1 has had a internet failure tonight. For some reason, the internet is out in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So I got a mod all the way from the outback in Alaska, off the grid. I will go to the homepage. I'm sorry, didn't know about your mom. Yeah, when I was in the hospital here in Los Angeles with my heart, because my heart has had major issues because of my cancer treatment, she got diagnosed with COVID and AFib, and I had AFib at the same time. And my sister, who has, we can't talk about that here, but let's just say that Randy and I cannot associate with what's going on in that situation right now. They did not expose her to anybody, but she somehow got it anyhow. And she recovered from that in the hospital, but, it was just her time. It was old age. She's been a lot healthier than I've ever been, but she's no longer with us. That was December 2023. And I have been in the hospital 16 times between November 2023 and January 2nd, 2026. I had another heart surgery January 2nd by a doctor who had active COVID. We had to delay it 2 days. It was supposed to be our New Year's Eve date. Wink, wink. And no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, and then on February 6th, I had a lithotripsy procedure on my left kidney. Brenda says, I just found a video of you when your mom was holding you as a baby. Shows your dad too. Was in Groton, Connecticut. Actually, we lived in North Stonington. They had lived in Mystic, but I was, of course, born in Rhode Island. I'd love to see that. Send me a copy. I got quite a few pictures from Connecticut. Yeah, I just wanted to let you know because I didn't know if you were aware. I think Randy knows, but I didn't know that you weren't aware of that. So, but she lived 20 years longer than my father, and she didn't have the issues that he had, and she had a healthy life, and she went pretty quickly at the end, but she had been in a really messed up situation for several decades. And I can't go into it here publicly on YouTube, but yeah, there was she was not in a nice situation. So I'm sure she's, I'm sad I didn't get to be able to say goodbye, but she's in a better place. Kathy says, I've had lithotripsy. Well, I hate kidney stones. Me too, especially when they're caused by cancer treatment. I can't see it being a family member as they would have prepared for her heart condition. Not necessarily if somebody was there to take her out. And that's just years and years of homicide investigations on my end and life insurance investigations. But once again, we are not naming anybody a suspect on this channel. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Kathy, you said you have lupus. I'm sorry to hear that. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But if you guys have been watching this whole true crime series on the Nancy Guthrie case, I think you kind of can read my mind, read between the lines, and know where my thoughts lie on this, and it's never changed. Donna. Hey, Donna, how are you? Just quick, want to say hi, and I'll be watching your video. How many hours do you need so I know? Well, I'm not even to get the monetization back. I'm not even at 2,000 yet, and I need 4,000 in a year. And I'm up to, as of right now, this very second, 1906 subs. I've already got plenty of subs. I don't need more subs in order to get monetized, but it would help. So if we could get it up to 2,000, that would be great. There are links on the main channel page if anybody wants to contribute in that way until I get remonetized. And Donna, you are in Illinois. And I just had a family member that came in here who is from Illinois. You were from Ottawa, is that correct, Donna? And not Ottawa, Canada, but Ottawa, Illinois, if I remember correctly. Wow. I can't believe it. How did you, if Brenda, if you're still in here, my gorgeous cousin, if you're still here, how did you find my channel? I don't know if she's still here. That was a plot. That, you know what, that made, even though I look like crap right now, and I'm here with my, the Davis side turkey neck. That just made my whole night. I hope she watches. If you're not here, Brenda, you can always watch the replay. But if you're not here, you wouldn't hear me say this. So, wow, that was so cool. Oh, you're still here. You have no idea. It just came up. God, yeah. The man upstairs. I am so happy that it just came up. That's fantastic. Yeah, I don't know if Randy watches these videos or not. I know he follows me on Facebook, and if you need to follow me on Facebook, I'm at aprildavispi. If you want to friend me on Facebook, I don't know if you're, I don't put a whole lot on Facebook. Most everything is on the YouTube channel, but all my links are here. I don't think the Facebook link is on my main page, but yeah, even my cancer GoFundMe is still up because I've certainly needed it lately with the heart situation. Karen says, it's all those likes. Put your channel out there. Well, I couldn't do it without you, Karen. And Kelly, who apparently still has no internet right now in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. She's going to be so upset that she missed this. Wow. Yeah, that's Brenda. I haven't seen her in decades, but she was my beautiful cousin with the blonde hair and the blue eyes. Looks like her mother's side of the family. And I supposedly look like my mom's side of the family. I look like the Mahoney side. Because we have the Irish Mahoneys, the German Dutch Simlows, and then on the grandparents on the Davis side, we have the Welsh and the German. 32 more likes. More than me. Let's get those likes up there. Where does who live? Donna. Yeah, if you guys that are still here, you want to put your locations in, that's fine. If you don't, and you want to keep your locations private, we won't out anybody here where they live unless somebody's already like my mod, she's always like, hey, I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So if you're watching this, Kelly, I know that it's cool for me to say that. I'm getting old, girl, 71. We look more alike than you know. Oh, well, I haven't seen you in so long. Well, so much has happened. I've had a lot of good in my life, but I've had the last several years, there's been just one tragedy and catastrophe after the next. My friends have kept me going. And like I said, it's always nice to know that if I had to, I could pick up the phone and call Randy. Georgia on my mind. I have my Kelsa kitty, who's named after my famous friend Kelsa, who passed, my Canadian famous friend. So I have a new kitty. She's 2 now, and actually today is my bunny's birthday that was assigned to her by the kill shelter. My bunny is 4 years old today. So I have the bunny, Amelia Kinsley, and I have the cat, Kelsa kitty. And she's asleep right now, thank God, or things would be crazy right now. Things would be absolutely crazy. Yeah, you came in the worst night. I have to order about $75 worth of. I haven't worn makeup except lipstick since before chemo, and that was 2019, 2020. And I just put a whole bunch of stuff in my Amazon shopping cart, and I'm probably will buy it around my birthday. You can't wait to tell Randy, oh, that you found me. Yeah, if you want to see the cat and the bunny, just go to the main channel page, click the playlist button, and click animals. And you'll see my babies. And this bunny, unlike my other bunnies that are lovable and cuddly and they're like puppies and they run into my arms as soon as I walk through the door, this bunny is completely the opposite. In fact, I picked her up last night and put her on my bed, and I can't even show the pictures because her ears were like, she was like, I hate you. She does not like to be handled, but she's the love of my life. And today is her birthday. So everybody, put in the chat, happy birthday, Amelia. The absolute love of my life. As is my crazy cat. But the problem is my crazy cat has taken on the spirit of the woman that she was named after. And I know that she was okay with that because we had talked about things like that in the past before she passed away. Happy birthday, Bunny. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Donna. Happy birthday, Amelia. Karen says, happy birthday, Amelia. Hey, you know what? I want to continue this, but I have to walk into the other room for 1 minute. Can you carry the chat for me, Karen? Is that okay? Thank you, Rita. Can you carry the chat for just like 1 minute? There's something that I have to handle in the bedroom. Is that okay, Karen? I'm just going to have you take over the chat. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I had some plumbing issues and they were supposed to come today and they didn't. And I heard water running and I thought, oh my God, something's happened. But it was my upstairs neighbor taking a shower. So thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. And I was only going to go on for a few minutes because I'm just so exhausted today. I had to get up extra early to be here for round 1, and that was taken care of, the smoke alarm in the bedroom and the sealing off that back baseboard for the summer visitors, the ants, the California ants. But they even called a separate plumber, not the one that's here every week, because that's how bad the plumbing is here in LA in this building. But they called in a specialist and then supposedly didn't, and and I've been hearing some kind of drip, drip, drip. And after what happened with the mold situation a couple of years ago, and there was, a 15-minute time frame for me to get the heck out because something horrible had happened in here. And I'm just really paranoid right now. Oh my God, is there running water? Oh my God. I absolutely, I need a shower tonight. I need to wash my hair and I need to go to bed. Hours. I have no idea. They counted every 300 every day, and they add a day and then they subtract a day. So doesn't matter how many hours I have over a lifetime. It matters how many hours I have in the last 365 days. I've been on the vertical lives, and I don't like vertical, but I have to do it for YouTube purposes now. Hold on a minute, Brenda. I got to show you something. Everybody, I got them on the floor right now, but hold on. I'm just going to turn the camera. I need you to see something. Everybody take a look. This is my birthday girl. She is the love of my life. Hi! Say hi, baby. Yes. There's the love of my life. And there's Kelsa, the other love of my life, who is, well, she's the ghost of the person she was named after. Beautiful, lovely, and drives me insane. Absolutely drives me mad. But I wouldn't trade her for anything. And if she wasn't here, I would cry me a river every day without her. Yeah, named after my beautiful friend. You know, in the next couple months, it's going to be kind of hard because one of my friends who passed, her birthday's in March and my birthday's in April, and we always celebrated our birthdays together. Yeah. Yeah. Kelsa, she's possessed by the ghost of my deceased friend. But I still have my other friends. Yeah. So she's 2. Kelsa's 2. And I know her exact birthday. And then this February 27th birthday was assigned by the kill shelter. Amelia was known as Rabbit 8. Hi, sweet baby. So now about Nancy Guthrie. Did you notice the blood spots were on the side of door? She must have been carried. I think she was carried just because the blood droplets are straight down and they're not stepped in. But I don't know where in the house that there are similar blood droplets, which has been confirmed. And trust me, I believe my sources on this. You know, my old buddy Nancy Grace, she's been doing a great job. She's been doing a bang-up job. Ashley Banfield, thumbs up. Brian Enton, thumbs up. I'm not a huge Megyn Kelly fan because I don't agree with her politics, but sometimes when she gets unhinged, then I am entertained, I must admit, you know. And I don't agree with anything about her politics, but when she goes unhinged and she says that's F and BS, and when she says the words, and when she's talking to Nanos, who we're now calling Bananos here, no offense, no disrespect, occasionally I will watch her. And then there was some information yesterday. I'm so tired now, I don't even remember what it was, but it was something from my old buddy Perez had put up. And I was like, yeah, him and his sister are good sources. So I am not working this case in any way. I'm simply reporting on it. But I do have 42 years of detective experience, 35 years full time. I've done hundreds of death cases. I've done dozens of homicides. I have a little bit of kidnapping experience as far as cases, investigations, most of which pertain to celebrity clientele. And I can't discuss any of it, either kidnaps or threat of kidnaps. I've had them both in my career, but I am not a specialist as some of my PI friends are in kidnapping cases. Front doormat. Yeah, I didn't see the doormat, or I don't remember it right now, but I saw the blood on the Mexican tile, and I saw the blood past the tile, but there's been many reports that the blood never went to the driveway or to the street. But, you know, I'm not in Tucson to take a look. But, you know, there was 5,000 people who have seen it because the crime scene was unsecure too quickly. So the crime scene, which I still think is a homicide scene, I still don't consider it a legit kidnapping. The kidnapping ransoms are red herrings, or they're just people trying to get money. Oh, yeah, the half-circle doormat. You're correct. That's correct. I'm extremely tired. Hi, Lynn Marshall. Thanks for coming in. Well, now you've seen my babies, Brenda, but you know what? You could watch them on YouTube under the animal category, and you could just binge watch my videos, or you can just play it on loop in the background, where they just play one after the other on loop, and it'll help me with my hours. Or you could just go out, and I don't know if they have this in your state, but do they have the lottery in your state? If so, go buy a lottery ticket. And if you hit the big one, I mean like the big jackpot, the big enchilada, you can dump a donation. Just saying. I'm just kidding. I never played a lotto here, and I'm really good at raffles, but I never play because it's just money down the drain. Thank you for the binge watching, because then I could at least get monetized again. And Lynn, can you remind me where you're coming in from? I know you've been here before. Yeah, I had everybody put in the chat where they were coming in from. I got a lot of Canadians in here, which means a lot to me. You know, I've often said this, Brenda, if I only wish that my dad, when he relocated to Canada, that he had done so 10 years sooner when I was still a minor, and then I could have gone up there and got my dual citizenship. Because me and my Canadian celebrity friend, we were talking about that. I'm like, you know, I could probably get it pretty easily, considering, you know, that he had his and what he did for the Canadian government and the Navy. And like, I could probably get mine. And she was like, you know, it's something you might want to look into. But I can't imagine being anywhere other than where I'm at right now. You're in Sierra Vista. Okay, Lynn, how close is that to Tucson? You probably know a lot more than the rest of us if you're right in Arizona. The last time I was in Tucson was probably driving across the country 30 years ago. 40 years ago. I went to Phoenix a few years ago, like maybe 2014, 2015 for a meeting. You're 95 minutes away. Oh, okay. I remember when I was at that meeting in Phoenix, I was really surprised at how clean the streets were, like compared to LA. I was really surprised. And we have some of the most beautiful neighborhoods in the world, but we're also a big city, so you know it can go bad really quick, depending on what part of town you're in. And as a PI, I don't spend all my time in Beverly Hills and Pacific Palisades, so I've seen all the ick. Actually, Brenda, I wanted to be a police officer. I never wanted to be a PI, and my mom saw something in a phone book while she was in a hotel room in LA, and she was like, you know, this would be right up your alley. And I was like, yeah, you know, like, and then I was in college, 3 different colleges for criminal justice and administration of justice, and everybody, including some people I knew in DC, were like, you know, you may have a problem because of your eyes. And my eyes, by the way, I've had 4 surgeries, Brenda. I can see a plane flying over LA from Anchorage to Guadalajara daily at 40,000 feet, and I can count the engines on the wings. These glasses, these are just for close up because my far away vision is so terrific right now that I can't see anything that's this close to my face. And my regular readers are broken, so I have the cheap Amazon readers on. But yeah, I can drive now fully with no glasses, no contacts. I've had four surgeries since 2016. Close enough. I wanted to be a police detective. So I was going to be a police officer first and hopefully climb up the ladder to detective. And then, you know, my mom just had this crazy suggestion one day. And I guess she was right because it helped me get my foot in the door. And then February 24th, which I just celebrated this week, I got a call. It was an emergency in Beverly Hills, and it was for a big movie star and a big entertainment family. And it's funny because I ended up working with that guy again on TV. I don't know if you're aware, but I ended up working a lot of television, a lot of movie gigs. I've had a pretty big career out here, but then, you know, I got hammered. But I'm still here. In fact, Brenda, I invented a hashtag, not dead yet. And that's not in a negative way. So yeah, you know, my Canadian friend, you know, who she's very famous in Canada, and she was starting to get into PI work here in the United States, and she was like, "When did you get your license?" And I was like, August 6, 1992, PI 51570. 15750. Tired, not drunk, tired. I don't drink. So, Diet Root Beer. California PI 15750, August 6, 1992. And then another 3 or 4 years before I went out on my own. So I had 11 years experience by the time I opened up my doors. And a lot of those people, like especially some of the celebrity clients, the ones I was closest to, a lot of them have already passed away. I've got one right now too that I had after my cancer, but I couldn't do much, because of my disability, and he's MIA right now. It's really sad. But let's not talk about me here. If you want to go, start at the beginning, Brenda. Look at the live tab and go through February 2nd onward. But those are just on the lives. I normally do long form content. I also have a few shorts, but it's a waste of time. Shorts. I prefer the long form content just because after 35 years of full time surveillance, that's what I missed the most, was the ability to film. And if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't. I would just go to USC or someplace like that and get a radio, television, and film degree. But behind the scenes. Used to drive my famous friend crazy because she was trying to get a PI show picked up during the pandemic, and she would have nightmares about it, like that I was behind and she was in front of the camera, and don't get April on the camera or she'll be upset. But little did she know, I have made a few appearances here and there. But we won't talk about that. 17 people, 34 thumbs up. Wow, double the thumbs up from what's currently watching. I think I was up to like 93 or 100 and some tonight. Like, that was a record. Yeah, if we're running out of things to talk about. Today we went over the latest from the sheriff, and we talked about a little bit about Antonio de Jesus Peña Campos, and we talked about the cash reward. We talked a little bit about the Kia Soul, 2.5 miles away. The Black Sheep. Hello. Where are you coming in from tonight? Welcome. 11 p.m. on the eastern side. Yes. And Karen, I did remember to turn off the alarms and to set the do not disturb, because anytime a phone rings or an alarm goes off on an iPhone during a live stream, it knocks out the audio. But what I have to remember, though, Karen, is when this is over, I've got to take it off do not disturb, and I have to turn the alarms, especially the pill alarms for the heart meds, back on. Springfield, Missouri. Welcome. God, we got people from all over tonight. We even had Lima, Peru, and Ireland, and Canada. I got a lot of friends in Canada. I'm very, very loyal to Canada, and Canada's loyal to me. East Coast of Virginia. Beach Girl. 1717. That's my favorite number. That's Joe Kelly's original number, and that's Shohei Ohtani's number. And that number also has something to do with my life. So I like that, 1717. Anytime, whenever there's news. But I usually do long form content. I just haven't had time, being on the operating table twice already in 2026. And, I'm pretty confined. I'm not able to get out as much. But there's hundreds of videos up there. Let me look on the iPad. I got to get monetized because I got to pay out this new iPad. I can't run these lives without this iPad. And let's see, it says I have 460 videos, but when I was briefly monetized, at like the 3 or 4 year mark. I think it was 3 plus. And then something happened and they took it down instead of privatizing a lot of those videos because they wouldn't tell me which one that there was an issue with. I just got trigger happy and I went delete, 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 delete. And then I went, oh no, like I've just lost all my hours. And so even though I only had to serve a 90-day suspension, I could not reapply. I had the subs, but I didn't have the hours anymore because I deleted like a third of my videos and some of my best videos, some of them that had hundreds of thousands of views. And so those are not even in the views tab anymore. It's like they never existed. So, and I have to say, I was not hopeful to ever get that back, but who knows? Things have been popping the last few weeks. But it's, I'm talking about something I know. I'm not so, I'm just okay at, treasure hunting and gold mining and metal detecting but my skill set is what I'm using for these, and it seems to be getting a lot of traction. It definitely I've gained a lot of subs, not for like a big channel, but for a small channel. I think I've gained over 300 in the last couple of weeks. So that's great. I got to get those watch hours up or it's all going to be for naught. So keep watching because every day the 365th day falls off and then they add another day. So it ticks like backwards. And then they don't put up the accurate count until 4 or 5 days later. They're 4 or 5 days behind on YouTube on the what's called YouTube Studio. That's the back end. And you can always catch the lives on the replay. Now, when you hit the replay or you go to the videos like after they've already been recorded live, you won't be able to see the chat until 24 to 48 hours later because it takes YouTube that amount of time to process the chat. But you can always place things in the comments. And the comments are separate from the chat. Because some people will come in on a live and they're in the comments going, I'm here, where are you? And it's like, swipe left because I can't see the comments. I can only see the chat during the live. Now I can see the comments forever, when I'm not actually recording it. But go check out some of the long form. No, I've not heard of that. Do I follow the Micah? Is it Mika or Micah Miller death, JP Miller situation here in Myrtle Beach? Never heard of it. I'm sorry. I got a lot of people wanting me to do a whole series on JonBenet Ramsey, but I can't really do that because it's unsolved. And I mean, I know this is unsolved too, but if I said everything that I know, I could get myself in too much trouble or get sued, or I know a lot about that case and I just publicly cannot go into it. Now, Karen, you're in Georgia, so you're probably not that far. My last few sips, and this had to come all the way from New York after my surgery. I'm so sad. There is a place that's in LA that's not anywhere close to me that if I could drive that far, which I can't, and I could stumble in with my old lady cane, I could get this without having to order it from New York. I know we've gotten way off topic here, but, I was just so happy to see Brenda come in. That's just awesome. Yeah, I don't know those. I do not know Micah Miller or JP Miller. Wow, 23 people, 38 thumbs up. Thank you so much. Well, there's going to be a lot of people when I cancel out of this at the end. It'll tell me how many people were here, all across from beginning to end. Oh, thank you, Karen. Yeah, it's so cool. I just hope you can watch my videos and you can catch up. You just, go to the main channel page and you can click the playlist tab And I have everything from gold panning to reviews to some of the famous homes. I got some really good holiday videos. I got news, I got crime, how-to, I got blogs, I got planes, trains, and automobiles, animals, entertainment, reselling, sports, money, just it's a little bit of everything. And then if you go to the main channel page, it shows my email address, my mailing address, which I think you already have in Studio City, my eBay store, my coffee, my Venmo, my cash, my PayPal, my whatnot, my GoFundMe. Yeah, if you're not into whatnot, go sign up and you'll get $15. So whatnot will send it to you and put it in your account. You just have to scan the QR code or click the link. It's like a live selling format of it's like an eBay, but it's live selling. I used to do a lot of that, but I don't have the inventory anymore. And I've been too busy with, being in the hospital for the last, 2+ years. Yeah, when you look at the totals too, it doesn't, most of the views disappeared when I deleted like a quarter to a third of the videos. But I still have a total of 460. No, I'm just April Davis PI. That's the only thing I'm good at. If I was good at YouTube, this thing would be blowing up right now. But I can't believe it went into your feed. Like, I have no idea why. What were you searching for when I popped up? Beach Girl. So I just got off a podcast called Duty Raw on two New York City detectives, and they had a Pima County cop on their chat discussing how Nanos has handled the Nancy Guthrie case. Well, that would be interesting. Because, I don't, I'm not going to be disrespectful, but I haven't agreed on a lot of ways, a lot of things that he did from the very beginning. The crime scene was released in under 48 hours. 2 to 3 weeks spent at Annie and Tommaso's, everything from their home to their mail to their vehicle, which, as of yesterday, still has not been released because it is a piece of evidence in an active investigation. And you can take that however you want to take it. But I'm not accusing anybody because I have no clue if they're involved. And I don't know if you were here earlier, Brenda, but I've been the only person in this case, period, that's been reporting on this who's talked about the 2017 second mortgage on the house. And that's without doing any PI work, any database searches. I haven't looked at county recorders. I haven't done any real estate searching. I haven't done a title search. This is just stuff that you can just go Google. Nancy Guthrie, address. Boom. And it just pops right up. And it's like, well, what is that about? And why is nobody talking about that? Yes. In 2017, there was a second mortgage for 70 grand. It's still active, 35-year mortgage. Very odd that a woman who's got her house paid off, presumably paid off, who would have been in her mid to late 70s at the time, took out a 35-year second mortgage. But there can be a logical explanation for that. There can be a logical explanation. Excuse me, the root beer. There could be a logical explanation for why she had a Nest door cam without a subscription. But as I've said before, that's like owning a gun and not having any bullets. That's absolutely worthless unless you're just using it strictly as a doorbell. It's a doorbell without a subscription. Absolutely useless without a subscription. That's my question, Brenda. Maybe she did some upkeep to her house. Maybe somebody was hounding her for money. Because, I'm kind of familiar with family situations, not naming names, but I'm familiar with family situations where, certain people go out and do really well and make it in life and pay their own bills, and certain people don't. And certain people are, getting hounded for money and possibly being the victim of abuse. So, yeah, things like that do happen in real families. And as I mentioned here early, and we're not going to name names, Brenda, but in my own family, and I can't say who it is. You're probably not aware. and I'm not going to say who it is, but in my own family, decades before I was born, there was a kidnapping that was for real, involving the FBI and ransom and everything. So I'm very familiar with this, not just because of my work and some of the celebrity kidnappings or threat of kidnappings that I've worked, but this has touched my own family. Now I have never been in Savannah's shoes because it's never happened, in my lifetime with my family. Beach Girl says, yep, I wondered about that. I wonder who was monitoring and paying that Nest Cam subscription. Nobody, Beach Girl. That's the problem. She did not have a subscription. Karen says, how did Tommaso come up with the down payment? Was it a gift from Nancy at the wedding? No clue. I don't know. How much does a 6th grade teacher make in Pima County, Arizona? Anybody know? How much does a poet earn? Unless they're getting songs published by, Taylor Swift or Adele or somebody like that. Don't think there's a lot of money in poetry. But we're not making accusations here, are we? She had work done on the house. She also loaned her daughter and husband money. Most likely. But how recently prior to the abduction? We don't know. You have to look at the paperwork. You have to look at the paper trail. Kidnappers don't go and kidnap and stay 41 to 48 minutes in a house. Kidnappers don't wait 1 to 2 days to send ransoms to TV stations and to TMZ. Doesn't work that way. You do a kidnapping, you do it like a bank robbery, or you're in and out in under 2 minutes, or you're unsuccessful. Hi from Australia. Hey, Melissa. Wow, from down under. G'day, mate. Hi, Anthony. Welcome back, my friend. Beach Girl. Yep, very much in agreement. I know what I'm talking about here. I may not know, I may not be an expert gold prospector or former beach metal detectorist, but I do know detective work. And I know what's done right in this case and what's been done wrong. Somebody needed money for what? Bail? Kayla? Oh, that's a good one. I do, before I go to bed tonight, I do need to check Pima County. I need to see if Kayla is still in on no bail, no bond. And I need to see the current status of our new friend here, Antonio de Jesus Pima Campos. Let's see if his bail has been set or he was just ROR, released on recognizance. Let's find that out. Good day, Shags. What part of Australia, if you don't mind saying, Melissa? Gosh, we've had Ireland, and we've had Peru, and my Canadian friends, and now Australia. That's awesome. Somebody needed money to buy a house. Very possibly, Tony. Welcome in. Where are you coming in from, Tony? I think they need to look at the daughter and the husband. Oh, you mean the people that came out in Annie's vehicle that were like, don't look at me. I gotta hide my face. Excuse me, I just bumped my microphone. If your mother was kidnapped, wouldn't you want to run to that news camera and make a statement? Why would you be like, ah? Just look at the body language of the family videos. And I'm not saying that they had anything to do with this. But somebody's ashamed of something. Hey, Boston Bill. Did you just come back? Absolutely. Rita Close. My friend Rita says yes. Well, the police are at their house. They can't even get their mail. They don't have a car to drive. Like, we've only seen Tommaso once in the last 27 days. Oh, you had a phone call. No problem. Do you think their house is bugged by the FBI? I doubt that. But, we would find that out later if the phone's being tapped. Anything is possible. And that would be a good question to ask about Nancy's house, actually, because I've seen that in celebrity kidnappings where the houses were bugged, like something out of a movie. But it was for real. Boy, if I could only write a book and name names. If I could write a book and name names, then I wouldn't have all these medical bills and ambulance bills coming out my rear end. I would just be able to just write those checks and here you go. Here you go to Providence. Here you go to the anesthesiologist. Here you go to the lab. Here we go to the Uber guys that are driving me to and from the hospitals. If I could just write that book. But then, I'd be sued and I would lose everything. What little I have left. But I'm appreciative of a roof over my head at this moment. Yep, it's wild. It certainly is, Boston Bill. This will be a made-for-TV movie, I guarantee you. This case. I won't be a made-for-TV movie. I did turn down Diva Detective with already a contracted network. And they interviewed over 2,000 PIs, and I was offered that gig. And I know my Canadian friend who was just getting into the business, who was a former television personality, movie personality, radio personality, weather girl personality. That just burned her up that I had that offer before she knew me, and I turned it down. And she couldn't get her own show sold. And she would have nightmares about it. May she rest in peace. Melissa, Savannah is going back to her TV spot next 2 weeks, record ratings that day. Have you heard the timeline of 2 weeks? I think I first, you know what? I just remembered. I heard that first from my old buddy Perez. We don't know each other like face to face, but we've done some YouTube lives together. Which he wanted me to go, he wanted me to go on every week with him, but I just had all this health stuff happen. I should have said yes and gone live with him. We were going live every Wednesday. And it was funny because some lady that used to work for me like 20 years before, she started typing in my Facebook and she, like she was saying things that she would only have known if she had seen that. And I'm like, oh my God, people that know me, they just saw me like live. Oh my God, there was like thousands of people because it was him, And then we did it like 2 or 3 times, and then I was just he was like texting like, let's do this every Wednesday, and I'm like, nah, yeah, I just can't do it right now, and my health, and God, I would have blown up my YouTube channel had I said yes. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Rita says they will make a movie. Melissa, that's what they are hinting. Oh, that is 2 weeks? Do I follow JLR Lives? No, but I know who he is. I've seen a little bit of him. I know he's putting in long days out there. And I don't know anything about like his background or anything. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, what was it? His station or not station, channel. I'm still thinking radio here and television, but YouTube, his channel. Was it him? Somebody said, "Oh, you're making $100 every 10 minutes on those super chats." I was just like, okay, I can't listen to this anymore. It's kind of making me ill right now. Let's get me up to 2,000 subs and let me get that 4,000 hours, and then none of these views will count. I won't get monetized for that. I mean, I could get remonetized, but I won't get paid for those views if they're already behind the monetization. But at least, God, if we could just at least get my super chat and super sticker button going again. Anything. But just your views and your support means the world to me. The fact that you're watching me. Melissa, I listened to a remote viewer who said Nancy has a neighbor that's seen something but is too scared to talk. Oh, wow. You know, Melissa, you're in Australia. Do you know the lady in Australia? I can't think of the name of her channel. Her name is Dolly, and she has a daughter named Kayla, and she does the spirit box readings. Have you heard of her? She's pretty big in Australia. My bunny, she's just like, she doesn't even know it's her birthday today, and I feel so guilty because I need to get her. Her favorite new toy is a cardboard hide, and it's been totally destroyed by her and the cat. And she's got her main hide, but I need to get her another hide. I bought her special salad from Amazon, but she has no idea. It's just every day is the same for her. I feel so bad. Like, I need to get her some more toys. Oh, and the cat is just behaving wonderfully. Like I haven't had to put her in a timeout. Oh, you don't know? Yeah, I've seen her a few times. And then I saw the person from Georgia that Karen mentioned, and then I saw the lady that kept talking about Jordan, and they said location, and they said international, and they kept saying Jordan and Jordan over and over, and I'm like, I almost fell out of my chair because I just done a whole live on this guy from Amman, Jordan, that was somehow connected to the dailies and the Range Rover, and you know, and I was like, oh my God, does she hear what she's saying? Like, last night he was there with Beach Girl says last night he was there with other media and some guy was driving up and down past him. Yeah, like 50 times. Then the guy parks. He was acting weird. A sheriff deputy was there and they went to talk to him. Yeah, he was arrested for DUI. He failed the sobriety test and his name is Antonio de Jesus Pena Campos. And he was arrested on misdemeanor DUI. And it was creepy that he had her picture and he would slow down right in front of the memorial that's at her mailbox. They said 50 to 100 times. And he was definitely toast. And according to the YouTubers that were out there and the media that was out there, he reeked of marijuana. I don't know if he was drinking too or on any type of other substances. I gotta look him up tonight, and I gotta look up Kayla to see who is still in the Pima County jail. It was weird. But he doesn't fit the body type of at least, and I asked someone to look this up for me. Is it balaclava or baraclava or clava? Baraclava? Balaclava? I'd never heard that term before in relation to the ski mask. Because, I've never skied. I'm a beach bunny. I'm not a snowbird. For me, in LA, and what I do, that's a bank robber's mask. That's not a ski mask. That's a bank robber's mask. I wonder too, beach girl. Oh, there's all kinds of weirdos out there and stalkers, but still, I'd want to know more about him. And I'd want to go through the books if Savannah's security people, like, do they keep track of all the stalkers like they should? Do they have the black books that are like the homicide books? Do they keep the black books on all the harassers? You just heard ski mask. Yeah, I heard Ashley Banfield called it that. Yeah, that's the proper term. Well, remember, Ashley, she's a professional here. And I like her. And you know why I like her? I know this is a stupid reason to like her, but she's Canadian. If my dad was here today, I would have, it's called a balaclava mask. I would have told him to go to Canada 10 years sooner so I could have gone there before I came home to California, and then I would have had my dual citizenship because I never had that opportunity. I know some of my Canadian friends, they almost dropped dead when, I was like, no, my dad was Canadian. They were like, they thought I was lying. And I'm like, no, really. And we talked about the military and all the stuff. But I would never have wanted to be on the East Coast. I would have wanted to be like in Vancouver. That weather's a little bit too rough for me in northeastern Canada. I wouldn't have done very well there. But, considering the state of our country, it would have been nice to have that dual citizenship in my pocket. I'd carry that in my bag had I had that. Oh, Beach Girl, former U.S. Air Force. Thank you for your service, Beach Girl. Yeah, I grew up with Navy people. Melissa, Liz Cross, remote viewer, said the guy was watching Nancy's house for 2 weeks prior. I do believe that somebody was watching the house prior to this going down. And possibly even a person in a white van with tinted windows. Totally. Nobody just walked up there blind. Well, we even got proof on the doorbell cam that somebody was there before. Well, here in Virginia Beach, it's a big Navy town. Yes, it is. They look very calm. Who looks calm? I will have to get off here soon. Me, myself, and I. Because now my cousin had to come in and see me with like no makeup and dirty hair. Oh, the ski mask man. Yeah, he did. He's been there before. And somebody involved in this was very familiar with that house and has been in that house before to be that comfortable to have all the lights on and be there for 40 plus minutes. Oh, your dad was U.S. Air Force too, as well as my brother. My dad just did a lot of work for the Navy, but he was not actually in the Navy. But the U.S. Navy and the Canadian Royal Navy were the entities that he did the work for. Your son and brother. Well, thank you for their service, Karen. Thank them for their service. My uncle was in the Navy. All the kids I grew up with, their dads served in the Navy, like before they came and worked with my dad, who was not actually in the Navy, but we did Navy stuff. I'll never forget one day we were on a family trip in San Francisco, and we were down at Fisherman's Wharf, and my mom and my sister were in a store to buy some kind of souvenir. And I said, okay, I'm going to walk outside on I think it's called um, Pier 49, something like that. That's how old I am. I can't even remember. And I've been there since I was 1. But I was like, I'm going to walk outside for just a minute, but I'm not going to leave. I'm going to be right outside the door. And I walked outside and I looked up to the Golden Gate Bridge, and there was this big Navy ship coming in, and I had actually been on it. I had actually been at the helm of that ship when I was a young child. And I was like, oh my God. And I just like flipped out and ran into the store, and I was yelling at my dad and pulling him by the arm. And he was like, hold on, wait a minute. And I'm like, no, you have to come right now. Even though I know the ships, they don't go very fast. You got to come right now. You got to come out. And he was like, what is going on? And I point towards the Golden Gate Bridge, and here comes his ship. And he was just like, ah, like that was a moment. Like, wow. There it is. Like we had both been on that ship. Not too many kids get to sit at the helm of a warship and hold the actual wheel and sit in the captain's chair and say, look, Daddy, I'm driving the ship. Even though the ship is it's at port. It wasn't actually, running. There were no engines on. Do you think this will start a trend with celebrity kidnappings? People are opportunists? I hope not. A lot of that stuff does go on, but you just don't hear about it because I've worked several and they're not in the news. The kidnappings aren't as popular as they used to be. More of it is domestic situations because of, we're in a heavily surveilled world now. Oh, you went on a sub at EB. Was I there too? I have always wondered, was I? I must have been. Was I on the sub too, Brenda? I've been on cruisers, destroyers, LHAs. The LHA was where I sat at the helm, and it was the LHA 1 or possibly 2 because there was 5. And I've been on the battleship USS Alabama, but he had nothing to do with that. And I've never been on a carrier, which is what I really want to be on. No, they got a babysitter. Oh, I see. I never knew that. I know supposedly we went into the Bronx Zoo, like when the relatives would come. So I know I've been there several times. That was like our backyard, but like a couple hours away backyard. Before we were in the Bay, or I should say the Bay Area, and then Los Angeles and Washington, D.C., and everywhere else that we've been. They got a babysitter. Ugh. Oh, well. I wouldn't have remembered it anyway. Do you remember which sub? That's how we got to Minzy. Melissa Wintle, when is Trump going to step away after a tap on the shoulder from J.D. Vance? We won't get into politics here, but it can't be soon enough. It's going to take years to recover from our country to recover from this devastation. I like sourdough bread. That was probably at Pier 49. I got pictures of myself in the North Bay with the loaf of bread. A big old sourdough loaf. Yeah, I know that the USA is a laughing stock, Melissa, right now, because I have clients that are international. We are a laughing stock to the world, but most of us don't support what's going on. Just saying. You have been on Beach Girl. I have been on the USS Nimitz. Dated a guy on it. Then back in the 90s, Wheel of Fortune did a Fleet Week taping on the USS Eisenhower. I applied and won tickets to the taping. Oh, that's so funny because I when I was 16, I was at some Wheel of Fortune tapings, and that was before Vanna White and before Pat Sajak. That was with old Chuck Woolery and I think her name was Suzanne Stafford. Jamie James. I didn't know about that. Yeah, back when they used to be at NBC. When they were actually at the studios, NBC, in the same building as the Tonight Show. I did that show a lot, work-wise, but I never got to see Johnny. I always was there, like with Joan Rivers and other people. She was a hoot. A company I worked for did security there for certain people there. So in the 80s when I was just a kid, I used to get to go in there, but I'd dress up and I had to, suit it up because of who I was representing, and they had my little seat taped off. And then my Canadian friend who'd been watching Johnny since she was like 2, she was like, "You never saw Johnny? Oh my God." And I'm like, "No, I saw like, I think it was 6 or 7 different hosts, but usually I would go with Joan. I'd work all day and then I'd come there at the last minute and sit in my little seat." What? Joan called out Michelle Obama as a bloke. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I remember that. It was funny because during the commercial breaks, she would like say things that she wouldn't say on the television, and she would like, they would ask her certain questions, and she would say like, "Well, I can't say who it is because like we're on the air," and then she'd tell everybody in the audience, and we would be dying. I've been to California once. My twin sis lives in Buena Park. Wow, not too far from here. The home of Knott's Berry Farm. Yeah, I haven't been to Knott's Berry since I was like probably 3, but it's really nice. It's right down. It's right up the street from Disneyland. Yeah, my parents used to take me on the Great Train Robbery there when I was 3, and I thought it was real. And then my mom later on in the day, she'd say, "Let's go back on the train," and I would just be like, "Are you out of your mind? Like we're going those robbers are going to come back." And I thought they were real, and I thought those were real guns, and that then they would have actors in the audience that would pretend to be shot, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like it was just so stressful for me. I didn't like going to Knott's because I didn't want to get on that train and get robbed. Oh, she's back here now in Virginia Beach. Hey, Chew! Hello, my friend. I do have to get off here soon. We have totally gone off topic, but it was so nice that my old cousin Brenda. Yeah, we're old as dirt now, but it was so nice to see you, Brenda. If you're still here, I hope you watch the replay. You can see this. You can see the whole thing. You won't be able to see the chat until it uploads to YouTube. They have to process it, and that's 24 to 48 hours. But you can make a comment in the comment section that they don't turn that off, but they just don't reload the comments right away. And go to my main channel page and go to the playlist tab, and you can see everything. Oh, I love you too. Say hello to your girls. I remember meeting your oldest one. She was so cute. And I remember she had a little doll named after me. She was a little sweetie. I won't say her name here for security reasons, but I remember she was a little cutie pie. Yep. A lot of you guys. You know what? I just need to take the shower that I couldn't take this morning because I was waiting for all the repairmen, half of which didn't show up. Why haven't they mentioned satellite visions? I don't know. That's a good idea, Melissa. Obviously, they're not going to talk about everything that they have. But satellites don't see very well in the dark, if that's what you're talking about. Well, everybody hit that thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to me, subscribe to April Davis PI. Hit that bell icon. Then you'll be notified anytime I go live or anytime I put up a short or a long form content video. You can always go to the the channel tabs. What am I trying to say here? The playlist. Go to the playlist tabs and you can see the different videos. I've got over 400 videos, and I'm up to 1910. Oh, cool. I'm 90. I am 90 subs away from 2K. That's amazing. Wow. I feel a little bad though that I'm getting all these views just over something that's such a tragedy. Because I would love to have had like a mom or a grandma like Nancy Guthrie. Savannah was a very lucky girl for her to be in her life for 84 years. Well, in Savannah's years, probably 54. I think, what is she, 54 now? Something like that. What a supportive mom. Everybody say a prayer for Nancy. Say a prayer for Savannah and her siblings. Let's pray for law enforcement. Let's Pray for the PIs that are involved in this, I'm sure. Let's find her. Let's bring her home. If you have any information, 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI. There's over $1 million sitting on the table. It's available in cash. No questions asked. Yes, she did have a happy aura, Melissa. I hope you come back, Melissa. All the way from down under. That's amazing. How'd you find me, Melissa? I've seen a lot of people come in from the UK and Ireland and Canada. And tonight we had Peru. The other night we had India. That's the first time I think I've seen Australia. I'll remember you for that, Melissa. I appreciate you. And I don't know how the hell Brenda found this, but I'm glad that you did. You can catch up on the last, 5 years of, the good and the bad and the ugly just by watching the videos. And if anybody wants to send me an email, aprildavispi@gmail.com, or you want to drop me an actual real letter, you can go to the business address that's on the main channel page. I pray every night, Melissa, that they find her. Every single day I pray they find her. I want this case to have closure. I feel that she's no longer with us. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to come on here and say I was totally wrong and everything I said was just crap, but I don't think so. I think she's been gone since day one. And I don't mean gone like not in her home. I mean gone like no longer with us. There's nothing about this that rings true of a real kidnapping. Yeah, I think she has. And if she has, she's in a better place than all of us. And if you were to believe any of the spirit boxes, which I don't really believe in that, kind of like a Ouija board, don't believe in that either. But if there's any truth to any of those spirit box readers, she did say in the last one that I heard, tell them to stop. And that was taken as tell my family to stop. Like, it's time to go back to your life. I will catch up with you and your channel. What a blessing. Yeah, say goodbye to the daughter, the one that I actually met. I remember her well. I hope she's doing very well. And the other one too, who I haven't met, but yeah, I always have a little special place in my heart for her. She was such a cutie pie. You were very lucky. Yeah, I don't have any kids, but I do have my Thai family. You probably don't know about them. The Thai movie star and the kids, and they are. I'm a sponsor, or I was a sponsor for 10 years for a family from Thailand. And unbeknownst to me, the mother was famous. Well, I kind of figured it out when we were being followed and pictures were being taken. Like, what is going on? And my friend would say something like, well, I'm very popular in my country. And I'd be like, what? And then I got called one day from work to come over to the spa in Sherman Oaks. And I walked in and I met these two movie stars. And they were supposedly the Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt of Thailand. And they looked at me and they were like, don't you know who she is? And I'm like, yeah. And then that's when they were like, you didn't know, did you? And I was like, oh my God, that's why everybody's following us, We're 9,000 miles away from that country. We can't go anywhere. Oh. Well, good night to you, Rita. Appreciate y'all coming in, and I am gonna go wash that dirt right out of my hair. Hopefully I'll look better next time you see me. And maybe before my birthday, I'll actually reorder some makeup for the first time since cancer. I'll put a little makeup on my face, but it's not going to take away my Davis double chin. Too sad. Too sad. You too, Jane. Thank you for coming. I will see you guys soon. Now, if anything breaks, I'll come on sooner, but unless something breaks, tonight, I don't think I'll be on. I got to give my vocal cords a rest here. But thank you for coming in, and as I always say, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Get me up to that 2,000. Watch, put me on loop. Just watch the videos, even if you're just listening to them in the background while you're working or cleaning or whatever you're doing, and have them on while you're sleeping at night. Just get these hours up so I can reapply and go begging to YouTube. Like, please take me back, just so I can have a video where we can all have a party online and say, I did it. Give me something to shoot for. I'll catch you guys later. Good night.